Hi, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, namaskaram, vanakkam. Welcome to a weekly Zoom show on this Sunday, 23rd of October 2022. This is our show number 43 in this year, and we propose to put up more shows as we go along. Well, the nation celebrates Diwali tomorrow. Advance Diwali greetings to each and every one of you. Let's have a safe Diwali. Well, we all like to talk. We talk, we keep on talking. We keep on talking, we hardly listen. We always want to convey our point of view and stick to that. We don't want to listen to others. Well, what is the importance of listening? Is there any importance to listen? What exactly is listening all about? What is active listening? How does one listen? What are the benefits of listening? Well, to answer all these questions and many more, we have a guest speaker, Dr. Sampath Dorairajan, joining us from Chennai, who will explain to us the importance of listening, the pros and cons of listening. He'll also tell us the pros and cons of not listening. Well, let us all listen to him with rapt attention and get to know the concept of listening and try to put it in our daily practice. Welcome to the show, Dr. Sampath Dorairajan. Well, as usual, we begin the show with a prayer followed by guest introduction. Thereafter, the guest speaker takes over, and on his completion, we will have an open session wherein we all can put our views, observations, comment, feedback, and even ask questions which the guest will be more than happy to answer. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a summary of the talk and a vote of thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kickstart the show. Coming up first is the prayer. Mrs. Nirmala Gurunathan joining us from Chennai will render the prayer for us. Nirmala, madam, kindly unmute and go ahead.
बजे पे गणपत्यूं बचे वारण वारण शौवर प्रदोषी वारण शौवर प्रदोषी वारण शौवर प्रदोषी पानी गणपत्यूं बचे वारण शौवर प्रदोषी पानी गणपत्यूं बचे ते सुसे विद चरणु ते सुसे विद चरणु बूद बोधिग प्रबल जबरणो बूद ते सुसे विद चरणु बूद बोधिग प्रबल जबरणो पीतरागिनो विनिदयोगिनो पीतरागिनो विनिदयोगिनो ईश्वरारणो विघ्नवारणो पीतरागिनो विनिदयोगिनो ईश्वरारणो विघ्नवारणो पारणे गणपत्यूं भजे वारण शौवर प्रदोषी पारणे गणपत्यूं बचे पुरकों पसों बाबा पुनि पर प्रभु चेतो त्रिकोण मध्यगदं पुरको बसो भव पुनि पर प्रभु चेतो त्रिकोण मध्यगदं मुरारी प्रमुखनुपासितं मूलधर चेतस्थितं पररिचत्व त्रिभगात्मजो प्रणव स्वरूप वक्रतुण्डौ प्राणव स्वरूप वक्रतुण्डौ निरतरो निखिलचन्द्रकण्ठौ निज मकरविदुतेषुदण्डं निरतरो निखिलचन्द्रकण्ठौ निज मकरविदुतेषुदण्डं करं भुजपशविचपूरं कर्षविदूरं भूतगणम् अर्धति गुरुगुणदोषितबिम्बम् अंसध्वनिभूषितगेरं करं भुजपशविचपूरं कर्षविदूरं भूतगणम् अर्धति गुरुगुणदोषितबिम्बम् अंसध्वनिभूषितगेरं गणपत्युं भजे औवरण चौवरप्रदोषे वारमि गणपत्युं भजे Thank you. Wish you all a happy Diwali.
Last week we had Mr. Mohan Krishnan, who spoke to us about the journey inside, the search for the infallible journey inside. He gave us an excellent information about how do we travel inside to find out the ultimate truth. Well, let's listen to him what he said last week.
है चीज क्या नहीं जान पाएगा, रोता हुआ आया है रोता चला जाएगा, ए भाई जरा देख के चलो. So lot of movie songs with a lot of meaning there. हजारों मील लंबे रास्ते तुझको बुलाते, वहां दुखड़े सहने के वास्ते तुझको बुलाते. यहाँ पूरा खेल अभी जीवन का किसने कहा है खेला, चल अकेला चल अकेला. So much philosophy. வந்தவரெல்லாம் தங்கிவிட்டால் இந்த பூமியில் நமக்கு இடமே. So let's look at a mixture of all these thoughts. See, before we start, I would like a small prayer to my Guruji. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddhagyanaika Murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah. I'm a student of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati of Anekati Ashram, and his student Swami Paramarthananda, Swami Atmatriptananda. Swami Atmatriptananda teaches out of Calcutta, Paramarthananda ji teaches out of Chennai. So, when a giraffe gives birth to its baby, it delivers it from a height of about 3.5-4 feet. And the baby falls in the ground like a. If you and I fell from that height, what would happen? The baby falls about 3.5-4 feet. The mother giraffe kicks the child, the foal, so that it can stand and run, because its survival is in running. Otherwise, the hyenas are waiting. A monkey is born. if not anything.
Okay, the entire video is available in my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly YouTube channel login Pargo. It was very interesting and very educated. Well, moving ahead, we come to the next segment of introduction of the guest speaker this evening. Mrs. Uma Anantaramakrishnan would do the honors. Uma, madam, kindly unmute and go ahead.
Good evening to all. Happy Diwali to everybody. Dr. Sampath Dorairajan sir is a family business consultant currently working with family organization in the aspects of succession planning, conflict management, corporate governance, and career management, etc. He is a trained NLP life coach and performance conditioning mentor. Graduated in political science from Calcutta University, MEP from IIM Ahmedabad, MSc in strategic project planning from Heriot-Watt University, Scotland. Doctorate in managing succession planning in family business from Banasthali Vidyapeeth, Rajasthan. He has more than 35 years of professional experience, having held several senior corporate positions in leading agrochemical industry, lighting division of MNC, reputed publications in India and abroad, and with MNC advertising agencies in UAE. Tamil Nadu State Committee, member of Indian Chamber of Commerce, being the coordinator for entrepreneurial development programs. Visiting faculty at MAHE Manipal and teaches family business management, Kumaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore, and Mysore Business School. Some of the recent programs involved in personality development, employability, and spoken English courses for visually impaired students of Navajivan Blind Relief Center, Tirupati, and Manav Kalyan Trust, Gujarat. Working with visually impaired students of Enable India. Trains golfer on mental conditioning and coaches junior golfers at Bangalore Golf Club. Over to Sampath Dorairajan sir.
Oh, madam, that was an awesome profile, and thank you very much for introducing the profile. Well, Sampath has been a childhood friend. In fact, we grew up together in the city of Chai. Though we went to different school and college, we have been good friends for more than 5.5 decades now. Sampath's patience and perseverance personified, in the sense that he has waited for a long time to get his doctoral degree. Having known him since childhood, he has the ambition of having a doctoral degree at any point of time. But then situations, circumstances were different. Priorities kept on changing, and he waited for his time to come. Cometh the hour, cometh the man, says the proverb. And at 59, after finishing all his familial responsibilities, Sampath took over the doctoral program and successfully completed it at the age of 62. Well, there are many eyebrows which were raised asking a degree at 62. Well, Sampath has a one-line answer: it's better late than never. Exactly, because now how do we explain the gap between getting a degree at a late age and not getting at all? It's a huge. So you get a degree at any point of time is definitely useful. And the advice of Sampath to the youngsters of today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, and for all times to come is be patient, be focused on your objective, be focused on your destination. You will reach it at some point of time. Okay, it's now time for the guest speaker to take over, ladies and gentlemen. We'll all maintain the mic and mute status as always, so that we do not disturb the thought process of the speaker. On its completion, we will have an open session. Dr. Sampath Dorairajan, sir, the floor is all yours now.
Thank you, Subbu, and thanks for the kind words. Happy Diwali to everybody. Diwali Nalvarthukal. and thanks for this opportunity at Tapovan. To start with, a chinna test for everybody. For chinna test, Ashok and Rakesh are friends. Kadal Verda.
Yes, yes.
Ashok and Rakesh are friends. Ashok, his wife and daughter, along with Rakesh, his wife and 2 sons, went on a pleasure trip to Mahabalipuram. They stayed at Hotel Sunrise View. At the end of the 3-day stay, the total bill was rupees 16,780. While Ashok suggested that they share the bill equally, Rakesh insisted on paying 65% of the bill. Now, I would like to know from you, totally how many members were there in the group? Totally, how many members were there in the group? எவ்வளவு பேர் இந்த குரூப்ல இருந்தா?
Okay, Rakesh. 5 and 2 children.
நான் கேட்டது எவ்வளவு பேர் இருந்தா?
Wife and 2 children.
அது தெரியல. வைஃபோ, சில்ட்ரனோ, அப்பாவோ, அது தெரியல. Okay, 1. Take your time.
4. 8 பேர். 8.
இல்ல. Anybody else? Huh?
5 பேர். 5 பேர்.
5 பேர். இல்ல. Okay, don't worry. What was the name of the hotel? Is it not a IAS exam?
Sunrise.
Huh?
Sunrise.
Sunrise. Super. Yes. What was the total amount?
16,000.
Exact.
So I've been listening properly.
No. Nothing like that. See, all it happens to all of us.
16,500.
Huh?
16,500.
இல்ல.
16,500.
இல்ல. Okay, 16,780. And lastly, his friend offered to pay how much?
65%.
Super. Thank you. Thank you all of you for taking part. Now, this shows that it is not that we willfully don't want to listen. There are certain minor points that we need to listen, which will make the communication complete. இது யாரும் கேட்கக்கூடாதுனோ அல்லது நம்ம எல்லா விதத்திலையும் டெஸ்ட் வைக்கிறாளோனோ கிடையாது. Do we listen properly to what is being said to us? இப்போ, can you see this coin? Can you all see this coin? Is it visible?
Yes.
இப்போ, this coin has 2 sides, heads and a tail. One side is the speaking part, the other side is the listening part. Now, both are equally important. But what we do is we give additional importance to speaking. And as human beings, we have a habit of speaking and listening to our own voice. And many a time, we don't allow others. நம்ம அடுத்த வாழ பேச விடாம நம்ம வார்த்தை நிறைய பேச ட்ரை பண்ணுவோம். It happens to all of us. It is not, நான் இப்போ பேசுறதுனால நான் வந்து நிறைய அடுத்த வாழ சான்ஸ் கொடுப்பேங்கிறதுலாம் கிடையாது. It applies to every one of us here. So the point is, how much importance do we give to listening and that to active listening? There is something called as passive listening. There is something called as active listening. Passive is ஏதோ சொல்றா கேட்டுப்போம், காதுல விழுந்ததா விழலையா கவலை இல்லை. காதுல விழுந்து are we able to understand and empathize with the other person who is communicating with us is active listening. I'll just show you a video.
जी कहाँ जाओगे? बेलापुर, नामपुर, फतेहगढ़, रामगढ़, कहाँ जाना है बोलो? अरे क्या कभी तांगा नहीं देखा पहले? ये गांव खेड़ा है साहब, यहाँ मोटर गाड़ी नहीं मिलेगी कि बैठे और गर्र से चल दिए। यहाँ तो बसंती का तांगा ही चलता है। देखो, मुझे बेफिजूल बात करने की तो है नहीं। बैठे बैठे नहीं, बैठे नहीं बैठे। अरे ये तो बसंती का तांगा है, किसी जमींदार की बेकारी थोड़ी है कि मर्जी न मर्जी करना ही। तो 2 चक्कर हो जाते हैं, यहाँ से बेलापुर, बेलापुर से रामगढ़, और अगर रामगढ़ गए तो समझो रामगढ़ गए, क्योंकि तांगा भी रामगढ़ का है और हम भी रामगढ़ के हैं।
के घर जाना है।
हाँ हाँ तो चलो, मैंने कब मना किया। तो फिर बोलो ना ठाकुर साहब के घर जाना है। चल धन्नो, क्योंकि ये तो वही।
सुना ये नाम?
बसंती, बड़ा प्यारा नाम है।
हमारा
The video is not for Hindi learning or Hindi ko illa. This lady continuously keeps talking without allowing others to communicate. Ava enga pono, iva per, iva enna pandra, what is she capable of than solrale thavara. She is not communicating what they want, where to go, where they have to go. Ava enga pono, yara paakanoங்கிறது இவ சொல்லவே இல்லை. என் பேர் வசந்தி, நான் என்ன பண்றேன்னு சொல்றதே தவிர. So in life பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்க predominantly people continue to speak without giving others an opportunity to communicate back. இப்ப நான் என்ன சொல்ல வரேங்கிறத புரிஞ்சுக்காம, suppose if I have to continuously speak without making others an opportunity, then there will be only one voice that would happen. And that particular voice will get bored after some time. So that is why predominantly we need to understand that there is one thing called as communication, which means somebody speaks, somebody has to listen. How does somebody listen? But attentive கேட்டுண்டு, whatever be the issue, whatever be பேசுறது பிடிக்கலையா, then you can always say, I don't think I'm prepared to listen to this. That's one way of saying. Communication is such a thing that unless and until you give a chance to others to listen by stopping at some point in time, it will become a bore. There are 2 ways of communication. One is active listening, one is passive listening. நான் கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ணி அடுத்தவா என்ன சொல்றாங்கிறத கேட்டேன்னாக்க, that is active listening, which means I'm concentrating on what is being told to me and I listen to it properly. Passive listening is something, நீங்க பாட்டு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம், நான் பாட்டு கேட்டுக்கிறேனோ இல்லையோ, it doesn't matter to me types. Secondly, when you do passive listening, you are disrespecting the other person who is speaking. Either you can say, I don't want to listen to you, or you have to listen to him properly. The beach நடந்து போறோம், when you walk on the beach or when you walk on the road, you have sufficient time, you listen to a lot of noise around you. You listen to various activities around you and as you walk across. But when you run to catch a bus, you don't listen to anything. So it is in our own mind, our mind is capable of doing what it wants to do at that particular point in time. At any point in time, the mind is a very sharp instrument. அது என்ன கேட்டுக்கணுமோ, it will listen to it. நம்ம கையில இருக்கு how to make it happen. And to a large extent, we as individuals do not allow the mind to do what it wants because we are focusing more on ourselves. And to a large extent, it happens. The most basic of all human needs is the need to understand and be understood. The best way to understand people is to listen to them. If I have to understand people, there's only one way, to listen to them. There was a research by Paul Rankin in UK. It says 70% of our waking time is spent in communication. Adala 45% is spent in listening, 30% in speaking, 16% in reading, and 9% in writing. Now, if 45% is spent in listening, 45 plus 30, 75% of our time is spent only in listening and speaking. Reading and writing takes a very small portion of our life. What is listening? This is a Chinese one where it's a shape of an ear. You have attention. It should be, the ears are supposed to listen, see somebody in the eye and listen to it and give attention to them while speaking. When somebody speaks, give attention to them and with an open heart. Many a time நம்ம பார்க்கிறோம் that people would say, யாராவது ஒருத்தர் பேசிட்டு இருக்கும்போது we immediately jump to conclusion and say, நான் இது சொல்ல வரல, this is not what I meant. The first thing we do is, அவ பேசிட்டு இருக்கும்போதே we cut them off by saying, this is not what I meant. அவன் பேசியே முடிக்கல. And secondly, we also think that நம்ம டிஃபென்சிவா போயிடுவோம். அவ என்ன சொல்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம பாயிண்ட் நம்ம சொல்லிடலாம். ஏன்னா ஒருவேளை அவன் சான்ஸ் கொடுக்காட்டி என்ன பண்றதுன்னு. If everybody decides to think that others will not give them a chance to speak, then there'll be nobody to listen to in life. நம்ம பயம் என்னன்னாக்க, நம்ம சொல்றத சொல்லிடணும். Whether he listens to it or not, it doesn't matter. So if two people talk simultaneously, a lot of the problems happen. Buddha சொன்ன மாதிரி, when we shout, when the person is close by, we shout. When we speak nicely, we speak to a person far away at a distance. ஒரு 3000 கிலோமீட்டர் இருக்கிறவாட்ட நம்ம கத்துறது. We speak to them very nicely. We speak to people who are very close to us by shouting, which can be avoided completely if you can listen to the other person. But யாருக்கு விட்டு கொடுக்கணுங்கிறது தான் சாமர்த்தியம். எனக்கு, why should I leave my ego to them to listen to something when I think I'm right? Predominantly, most of the conflicts in life, when I talk to a lot of the business families, one thing that happens predominantly is that people don't talk to each other. Family kulla, it will be small, it will be big business, that it be multi-crore business, the families don't communicate. And most of the problems happen because of lack of communication, which means I don't want to listen to somebody. அப்பா சொல்வார், இது செஞ்சாகணும் பார், பையன் ஒத்துக்க மாட்டான், பையன் இருக்கிற ரூம்ல அப்பா இருக்க மாட்டார், தகராறு, that's all, end of the story. And that wound carries. You didn't listen to me that day. நான் சொன்னேன் உன்னை கேட்கறதுக்கு, நீ நான் சொன்னதை கேட்கல, I'm not going to listen to you again. அப்பா சொல்லுவார், நான் எப்போ சொன்னாலும் நீ காது கொடுத்து கேட்கறதே இல்லை. So among children, among parents, there is so much of a gap, which is not generation gap, which is only humility that is missing. For basic criteria, if somebody speaks to us, listen to them. If you don't want to listen to them, there's a quiet way of saying, I don't think I'm in a mood now to listen. Come back and listen later. But பேசுறத கேட்காம மொபைல பாக்குறதோ, காதுல பென்சிலை வச்சு கொடையிறதோ மகாதம். To be frank, it's disobedience. It's sort of, you are insulting somebody by not listening to them. When somebody is speaking, basic courtesy demands. ஏன்னா நம்ம எதிர்பார்ப்போம், அடுத்தவன் நம்ம பேசும்போது அடுத்தவா காது கொடுத்து கேட்கணுங்கிறத நம்ம எதிர்பார்ப்போம். But when it happens to us, we are not. And it applies to all of us, irrespective. It is not a trait. It is not a family function. It is our own learning. Parents can only tell you, நான் சொல்றது தயவு செஞ்சு கேளுன்னு சொல்லலாம், அதோட சரி. They cannot force us to listen to somebody. I'll show you something very interesting.
Yes, yes.
So that's how it is. It is not, if it is not deliberate, it is ஒரு activity of us to say, நான் எது கேட்கணுங்கிறது இல்லை. If we listen, what happens? நம்ம அர்த்தமா சொல்றதை கேட்டுட்டா என்ன ஆகுங்கிறது நமக்கு தோண மாட்டேங்கிறது. But all the time, the intention is, நான் சொல்றது அர்த்தமா கேட்கணும். It's a human trait which needs to be corrected by all of us. Be it elder. வயசான காலத்துல they expect a child to listen to them. The child, நான் சொல்றதை கேட்கணும்னு எதிர்பார்ப்பா. At the same time, the child nowadays says, நான் சொல்றதை நீ கேட்கறியா முதல்ல, நான் அதுக்கு நீ சொல்றதை கேட்கணுங்கிற habit. It was not there 40 years back. Life has changed. Only the parent only had to glare at us. My mother would only glare at me, that's it, enough. Keep quiet. Listen to her, obviously. இப்ப கிடையாது. Pick up the book. Why now? தண்ணி எடுத்துன்னு வா, இப்ப எடுத்துன்னு வர மணி எடுத்துன்னு முடியாதா? So that sort of a habit has set in, which means listening is also gone for a toss in all of us. காது கொடுத்து கேட்கணுங்கிறது இல்லவே இல்லை. தயவு செஞ்சு காது கொடுத்து கேட்கிறியாங்கிறது இப்ப எவ்வளவு தூரம் கேட்டிருக்கோம் நம்ம. We all listen to it. ஒரு basic intention is that can something good happen to me if I listen to others-ங்கிறது நம்ம மனசுல தோணும். Can I get something better if I listen to somebody? And what would happen at the most? I'm going to listen to somebody and say 20% தான் நம்ம காது கொடுத்து அடுத்த வாழ்ந்த கேட்கிறோம். That's a study made across in US by Harvard where only says 20% only we listen to others. There is 80% more that we don't listen to others. Be it office, be it family, be it friends, be it family marriages, anywhere. Selective listening. எனக்கு என்ன வேணுமோ அதை நான் காதுல வாங்கி. I want to listen to this because it interests me. It has something for me. Otherwise, people do not listen. People generally take a walk அப்படிம்பா. மனசுக்குள்ள கேட்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். They will be looking at you, but they are not actually listening to you. They are hearing you. There's a difference between hearing and listening. நான் கேட்கிறேன், ஆனா I'm not listening to it fully. And what do I do hearing you? I'm not concentrating on what you're saying. I am concentrating only when I listen to you properly. How does one listen? Look at the eye of the person whom you are talking to. Don't fidget with a mobile or a pencil. Don't work on a laptop or a computer when somebody is talking. That's basic manners. If somebody is talking, he wants something, act on it. அப்போதான் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் நீங்க கேட்டிருக்கீங்க. எல்லாம் கேட்டு முடிச்ச அப்புறம் what did you say first அப்படிங்கிறது மகா தப்பு. I'll show you a video of an elderly person and a son. Heart-wrenching in the video.
Τι είναι αυτό? Ένα σφουρίδι. Τι είναι αυτό? Μόλις τώρα στο πατέρα, σπουργίτη είναι. Τι είναι αυτό? Ένα σπουργίτη είναι, πατέρα. Ένα σπουργίτη. Σπου-γι-τι. είναι αυτό?
Γιατί το κάνεις αυτό το πράγμα, μπορείς να μου πεις? Τόσες φορές σου είπα, είναι ένα σπουργίτη. Δεν το καταλαβαίνεις. Πού πας?
Δυνατά.
Σήμερα ο μικρός μου γιος που πριν λίγες μέρες έκλεισε τα 3 καθόταν μαζί μου έξω στο πάρκο όταν ένας σπουργίτη ήρθε και κάθισε απέναντί μας. Ο γιος μου με ρώτησε 21 φορές τι ήταν αυτό και το απάντησα και τις 21 φορές ότι ήταν ένα σπουργίτη. Τον αγκάλιασα τρυφερά και τις 21 φορές που μου έκανε την ίδια ερώτηση, ξανά και ξανά, χωρίς να εκνευριστώ, νιώθοντας στοργή για το αθώο μου αγοράκι.
We all must have experienced this quite often. That language understandable illa, adanal adu mute pannirka and they put a subtitle in English. The whole idea is to communicate that we have seen it. Nariya WhatsApp la paathirukom, kadha padichirukom, cinema paathirukom, how parents, how children eppadi ottu poradilla vandirukku. But one thing that or common denominator namakkulla ennanaka, are we prepared to accept the reality? There is an elderly person who needs attention that is not to be seen these days. They are also longing to talk. Yaradu other tham pecha keka maatala, which could be very inane. Onnume illada subject ah irukkalama. They may come and talk to us very inane or sila samayam ukku perada vishayama irukku. That doesn't even matter. But they want somebody to listen to them. As much as we wanted somebody to listen to us when we were young. I'm not talking about elders or youngsters of the Peswellan. It applies to all of us, saying that when somebody talks, listen, and more so when an elderly person talks. Vayasanava pesumbodhu, it's mandatory. Namak kattama ket aganunga nirbandham irukku, which we don't do. Why don't we do it? It's because we have forgotten that we have also gone through that age. Do we do that if a son or a daughter of mine would do it? No. If my grandson or granddaughter would do it? No. It is because we have come through that age, we have forgotten what is history, what has been life. Same thing with listening. We have listened to somebody all these years. Ade continue panni, why not we do the listening part continuously, do it so that we set an example to others. Adutha vaalukku, can we set an example by saying, can we talk better? Can we be good in life by listening to others? Predominantly, this is one skill that people have been trying to this is one skill that people have not mastered so far. People have mastered everything. Nuclear science, ella vidhamana science kathunta mansha. Listening skills mattum innum kathukku. Research says only 20% we use it. As much people say that we use only 30% of the brain, 40% of the brain, Madhuri. We use only 20% of our listening skills and of our ability to listen because we are caught up so much in our own world. Not in the I'm my mine. Our own when you read, let's say, or Devathin Kurul Padikromo, Alladu, or Dhyanan Saraswati Padikromo, Padikumbodu Pramadama irukku. இதெல்லாம் தப்பு பண்றோம், இதெல்லாம் கரெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும், இந்த தப்பெல்லாம் நிவர்த்தி பண்ணிக்கணுங்கிறது தெரியுது. படிச்சு முடிச்சு வச்ச அப்புறம் we become human beings. படிக்கும்போது it is so good to listen to somebody speak, listen to that person, that phenomenal human being. தயானந்த சரஸ்வதியோ பெரியவர் சங்கராச்சாரியர் எழுதினதும் இட்ஸ் so brilliant. அவ்வளவு சொல்லியிருக்காரு அதுல. பட் we don't do that. எவ்வளவோ சொல்லியிருக்காரு அதுல. அதுல 0.01% பண்ணா கூட I think it would be far better, happier in life. And the happiness we don't get it because we refuse to listen to others. Common denominator என்னன்னாக்க our ability to listen to others is missing completely. நான் சொல்றதை நீ கேட்டா போறோம், நீ சொல்றதை நான் கேட்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லைன்னு ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டா there will be no happiness. I will wait for that opportunity to get back at somebody because you didn't listen to me. I will carry that grudge with me. நீ சொன்னதை நான் கேட்கல, நான் சொல்றதை நீ கேட்கல, why should I listen to you types? When people speak, let's not interrupt them. பேசி முடிக்கட்டும். Many a time நம்ம முன்னாடி சொன்ன மாதிரி டிஃபென்சிவ் ஆயிடும். என்ன நம்மளை பத்தி ஏதாவது சொல்ல போறாளோ அப்படிங்கிற பயத்துல நம்ம நிறுத்திடுறோம். And people butt in and blurt out. அவன் கேட்கறதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒப்பீனியன் கொடுத்துடுறோம். நம்ம இந்த வேலையை பார்க்கணும், எனக்கு தெரியுமே சார், நான் பண்ணிடுறேன் சார். There used to be a joke. இந்த வேலையை பண்ணி முடிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி நான் பண்ணிடுவேன் சார், இந்த வேலையை இப்ப பண்ண வேண்டாம்ப்பா, 2 நாள் கழிச்சு பண்ணா போறோங்கிறது கூட புரிஞ்சுக்க மாட்டேன். No matter how desperately you feel like blurting out, control this temptation to allow others to finish talking. Give your full attention to somebody. ஒருத்தர் பேசினா மரியாதை கொடுத்து let's listen to what people have to say. Avoid the trap of selective listening. பாதி கேட்டுக்கிறேன், பாதி கேட்டுக்க மாட்டேன், என்ன வேணுமோ அதை கேட்கறது, இட்ஸ் டெஃபினெட்லி நாட் அக்செப்டபிள் அட் ஆல். ஐ கான்டாக்ட், பாஸ்டர், பின்னாடி சாஞ்சின்னு உட்கார்ந்துக்கிறது. மெனி a time we tend to think that பின்னாடி சாஞ்சின்னு உட்கார்ந்துல it gives a casual atmosphere to people. ரொம்ப முன்னாடி வந்தா sit comfortably so that you listen to others. Eye contact. கை இப்படி மடிச்சு வச்சுட்டு நான் எங்கேயோ யாரையோ நினைச்சுட்டு இருக்கேன்ப்பா, ஏதோ சொல்லிட்டு போ, நான் பாட்டு கேட்டுட்டு இருக்கேங்கிற ஹேபிட். Lot of times, lot of small errors we do which can hurt others. ஏன்னா நம்மள அந்த மாதிரி ஒருத்தர் பண்ணாதான் நம்மளுக்கு அதோட அருமை தெரியும். As long as we don't do it to others, we won't know. For example, if somebody does it to me by not listening properly, next time when there's an opportunity comes, I will not tell them what is to be done. You didn't listen to me, so why should I tell you again? And this can happen in offices. Again, I repeat, families, among friends. நான் போன்ல சொல்றேன், நாளைக்கு 3 மணிக்கு வா, காதலே வாங்கிக்கிறது இல்லை. நான் ஏதோ நீ சொன்ன, ஏதோ நான் கேட்டுட்டேன், சரியா போச்சு. I don't even listen to it properly. எந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல், எவ்வளவு மணிக்கு வரணும், என்ன பேசணும், ஒண்ணும் கிடையாது. நாளைக்கு வந்து எங்க வரணும், did you ask questions? Ask questions. அப்போதான் நீ காதல வாங்கிட்டு இருக்கேன்னு அர்த்தம். If we don't interact with the other person, பேசி முடிக்கட்டும். There is no tearing hurry. He is not a politician who is going to speak for 3 hours. He is an ordinary human being like us. 10 நிமிஷம் பேச போறா, 5 நிமிஷம் பேச போறா, பேசி முடிக்கட்டுமே. நம்மளுக்கு அவசரம், நம்ம பேசினமேன்னு ஒரு ஆதங்கம் நம்மளுக்கு, நம்ம பேச முடியாம போயிட போறதுன்னு. The phenomenal part in human being is that many a time when we start talking to others, we don't even give ஒரு non-verbal communication கொடுக்கறது இல்லை, ஒரு ஸ்மைல் பண்றது இல்லை. We talk as though there is going to be a war between us. ஒரு ஸ்மைல் பண்ணிட்டோம், the other person will know that you are listening to something. அதுக்கு பண்றது இல்லை நம்ம. Basic thing like not showing signs of distraction, fidgeting with something, எங்கேயோ வேடிக்கை பார்க்கறது. And see, one thing that probably can happen is question பண்றது. Do I listen to it properly by paraphrase? நீங்க சொல்லி முடிச்சல், can I இதெல்லாம் நீங்க சொன்னீங்க அப்படின்னு திருப்பி நம்ம சொன்னோம்னாக்க he will be happy that you have listened to him properly. இப்போ ஒருத்தர் somebody passes a remark on something. Here ஒரு காது கொடுத்து கேட்கறது கேட்கலைங்கிறது வேற. Are we in a mindset to say that are we in a mindset to say, is it right to do that? நம்ம மனசுல படியவே மாட்டேங்கிறது. Till from the time we start communicating, from the time we go to the grave or we die, there is one constant denominator in us. I should speak and others should listen. In the habit நம்மளை விட்டு எப்போ போறதோ, life becomes simple because there will be a lot of happiness would develop automatically. I'll show you this interesting stuff. God made only one ear. All others he made multiple items. I'm not talking about the internal portions in the body like heart or adho. Veli portion rendu vaai vecham. He kept only one ear. To avoid distraction and don't jump into responding, defending or questioning. The ear is made in such a way that it looks more like a heart, so that you don't think of other things when I speak to you. Open your heart for me. Body language. How do we communicate to others? Am I listening to you? Eye contact, nodding, smiling. Active listening is not interrupting. Being aware of the speaker's non-verbal cues. They could do so many things that demonstrate non-verbally that you are listening. What is non-verbal? There are n number ways by which you can communicate to other person that I'm listening to you. Actively interpret the sender's message. And the message enna varudho, I've understood nu solradhukku there should be a communication. Most important, attend to the sender's non-verbal behavior. He is saying something. Could be or behavior oru sonnanaka, have I understood the behavior engiradhu onnu. And most important, which we all do, and that is where most of the problems happen, is because we become very defensive. Solradhukku munadi we jump to conclusion. And this happens to everybody. At some point in time, we would have done that. Nothing wrong. As long as you realize, tappa eduthu inime na tappu panna poradilla therinja, life becomes very simple. One thing that happens to us many a time when we speak, not only mind takes a walk, we also feel that poru kettadu romba bore adikirudhu vera edavadhu pannalama, mind you switch off. For example, boss satham podumbodho alladhu veetla appa satham podumbodho alladhu yaravadhu othar satham podumbodhu we switch off without the other person knowing it. What do? Kaadale vidadu. But subliminala, subconsciousa adu manasla nikkarudhu. And we don't realize that. This brain of ours, this small head of ours, can take 50-60 trillion bytes of material inside. Subliminal avlo therinju vechirukom. And it will react in some form or the other subsequently. We have seen, ipo ஒரு terroristyo அல்லது யாரையோ கூட்டிட்டு போறான்னு சொல்லுவா, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இன்டராகேஷன்ல கூட்டிட்டு போறா, அல்லது கஸ்டம்ஸ்ல பார்த்தோம்னாக்க they will be able to identify யார் திருடி இருக்கா திருடல, அந்த டெரரிஸ்ட் யார், உண்மையா பொய்யா, அவன் நிஜமா பொய் சொல்றானா உண்மை சொல்றானாங்கிறது. These chaps are trained to figure out அவன் உண்மை சொல்றானா பொய் சொல்றானா. And it comes through behavior. என்னதான் நம்ம ஒரு தடவை 2 தடவை ஒரு நாளைக்கு 2 நாளைக்கு பொய் சொல்லலாம், but the interrogation will be so intense that we will react to it. அது எதனால வருதுனாக்க, it is because they are used to this, people not listening to them. They are used to people not, நீ காதலே வாங்காம இருந்தா கூட once, twice, thrice, he knows how to tear you apart. ஒரு போலீஸ்காரனோ ஒரு கஸ்டம்ஸ் அபிஷியலோ ஒரு law enforcement officer, he would be able to understand us better because he knows the tricks of the trade so well. Between human beings, we can do that. நம்ம தெரிஞ்சவா சொந்தக்காரர்களுக்கு நம்ம லிசன் பண்ணாம இருந்துட்டு போலாம். எதுக்கு சொல்றேன்னாக்க, overall scheme of things, it is so important that listening, and that too active listening, is part of life. As I said, 20% நம்ம இப்ப பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம், maximum 25% படிக்கிறோம் நம்ம. Can we reach 50? And for that, what do I have to do? If somebody speaks, listen to them. All that matters is காது கொடுத்து கேட்கணும், அவ்வளவுதானே. You don't have to be a champion to do it. I have a lovely video of Stephen Covey wherein he says that what should be done if the other person listens or doesn't listen. I'll show you this video of Stephen Covey for you.
Just do this. You just go up and you say to the other person, you've got the talking stick. I can't say anything. Maybe I can ask a question to see if I do understand your point, but I can't make my point. I can't agree. I can't disagree. All I can do is communicate until you feel understood. As soon as you feel understood on your point, then you pass the talking stick or pencil or whatever to me. Now it is my turn, and you are quiet, and you listen with empathy until I feel understood. As soon as I feel understood, I pass it back to you. Until you feel understood, then you pass it back to me. Now what happens is literally it transforms defensive, negative energy into creative, transforming energy. Here's why. When you really listen to another in depth until they feel understood, you are communicating their worth, their potential. You are affirming them. It is so therapeutic, so healing, that they cannot fight you, and they gradually become more and more open. Try it tonight with your loved one. You see two kids fighting, just walk up to the smaller one and say, honey, you've got the pencil. No one can talk until you feel understood. And then, as soon as you feel understood, and we make your point to your satisfaction, then you pass it to your older sister or brother. Just try it. You think it takes time? It will save so much time. And in your meetings that you go to, basically you say, let's agree to the simple grand rule that no one can make their point until they restate the other person's point to his or her satisfaction.
And that's all it is. Or a talking stick illama, just give it to somebody and say, talking stick mentioned, nee pesi mudi, then I will give talk. Now pesumbodhu, don't interrupt me. Nee pesumbodhu, I will not interrupt you. There's a talking stick in front of us. Adha kaila vechuntomnaka, there is a sort of or command namalukku varudhu that I will not misbehave by interrupting somebody when they speak. When a person speaks, அவ சொன்ன மாதிரி ஆஃபீஸா இருக்கட்டும், it's a therapeutic. When I listen to you, there is therapy. There is therapeutic answer coming. There is goodwill happening. Negative energy goes away because நீ சொல்றதை நான் கேட்டேன். நான் சொல்றதை நீ கேட்கறதுக்கு தயாரா இருக்கு. I am taking the stick and talking to you. The more and more we realize, it's a huge subject, but the matter is ரொம்ப small. It's a very small matter to say, please listen to me. அவ்வளவுதான், ஒரே வார்த்தை. ஒரு மணி for 5 minutes, if you speak for 1 hour, if you speak for 5 hours, if you speak for a day on listening, matter ஒண்ணுதான். Kindly pay attention to what I say. நான் சொல்றதை தயவு செஞ்சு காது கொடுத்து கேளுப்பா, அவ்வளவுதான் மேட்டர். Are we prepared to do that is what counts. And the more and more society வந்து in the digital world, when everybody is running, when everybody is in short of time, attention span ரொம்ப குறைச்சலா இருக்கு. சில பேருக்கு attention span இல்ல, காது கேட்கறதுக்கே டைம் இல்ல. People are running all over the place, either for work or for various reasons. There is a definite need for active listening. Small families, husband, wife, communication fails, lot of problems in family court, various things happen because the other person doesn't listen. நான் சொல்லிட்டேன், நான் அன்னைக்கே சொன்னேன் நீ காதுல வாங்கு. நான் திருப்பி சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கேன், நீ பேசுறதே இல்லை. I've been telling you repeatedly that you are not listening to me. நான் சொல்றதை நீ செய்யறது இல்லை. A common constant refrain from everybody. Matter ends up in family court. பேசுறது தப்பு மட்டும் இல்லை. இந்த பேசுறது தப்பா இருந்தா நிறுத்திட்டு நீ சொன்னது தப்புன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு இல்லை. நீ சொன்னதை நான் காதுலயே வாங்கிக்கலையே, அப்புறம் தானே பேசுறது. கல்யாணம் ஆகி 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, It is not that people who got married 40 years back, 50 years back, were all living in heaven. There was a give and take then. There is no give, there is no take now. And children, adults, married couples who are married recently, they are the ones who need counseling to say, please listen to others. It's imperative. Because if the society has to survive, if the society has to be successful, if all of us have to be successful, we have to make it happen for our good. நம்ம குழந்தைகள், நம்ம பேர பசங்க, நம்ம family நல்லா இருக்கணும், எல்லாம் நல்லா இருக்கணும்னாக்க, we have to make sure in the topic of listening have to be மனசுக்குள்ள தள்ளணும். அது இது ரூல் படி பண்ணணும். You have to listen. இது வந்து exercise கிடையாது. It is not an IAS exam or IPS exam where you go and write and say I have listened properly. It's not that. Any level, IAS officer பார்க்க போங்க, he has no time for us. சரி சொல்லிடுறான், அவ்வளவுதான். He doesn't have time to listen to anybody. ஒரு மினிஸ்டர் பாருங்க, ஒரு கவர்மெண்ட் ஆபீசர் பாருங்க, யாரை பாருங்க. Look at a doctor also. சரி புரிஞ்சுட்டேன், என்ன கேட்கிறேன். That's it. நான் சொல்ல வருது என்னன்னாக்க, அதிலே வாங்கிக்கல. அவன் ஏதோ கொடுக்குறான், நான் ஏதோ சாப்பிடுற மருந்து, things happen. It's time that we put to practice. Otherwise, I'm telling you, we are in panic situation and we are going to be in serious trouble life. And life is not going to be simple going forward because you have seen 80s pathon, 90s pathon, 2000 pathon, 10 pathon, 20 pathon. And we have seen how difficult life has emerged for all of us. And things are not going to be easy anymore. Things are going to get progressively worse. Not because of money. Everybody will have money. Everybody will lead a good life. But will they lead a quality life? That is to be seen because they do not communicate properly. Speaking alone, writing alone, email alone is not communication. As I showed in the chart, 45% is listening. I will end this program with a small test. Right. Naresh and Sumesh studied chemical engineering together in college. Naresh was working with Advent Pharma as regional sales manager, whereas Sumesh was working with Polymer Chemicals as production manager. They decided to quit their jobs and start a venture to manufacture clothing material from used PET bottles. They roped in Shankar Mani, who had the technical know-how for the proposed venture, as a partner. Naresh and Sumesh together invested 140 crores, whereas Shankar Mani brought in 55 crores. After 2 years, Sumesh wanted to quit the venture. He received a payout of 92 crores. What was the subject of Naresh and Sumesh in college? I should have asked you to please write and solid. I'm sorry. What was the subject of Naresh and Sumesh in college?
Biology.
Sorry, sir. Okay. Which company did Sumesh work before starting the business?
One of them was a chemical engineering student.
Actually, both studied chemical, sir.
Both studied chemical. One was a polymer. One was a
Sumesh was polymer. And
super,
I think
yes.
Naresh was Advent.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Super. Super, sir. Thank you. Super. Okay. What was Naresh's designation in the pharma company?
They didn't have any special designation. They were just partners.
He was
in the pharma company.
He was a selling
pharma company.
He was in sales.
Pharma company was sales, regional sales manager. Correct. Thank you. Correct. What was Shankar Mani's investment in the new venture?
95 crores.
No, 50.
55 crores. 55 crores.
Absolutely. Super.
95 he
And
got.
what was Sumesh's payout?
92 crores.
Super. Thank you. Thank you.
The important point, doesn't it?
இல்ல இல்ல நான் சுப்பு சொல்லுவான் தெரியும் கணக்கு பிள்ளை எல்லாம் சொல்லுவான் தெரியும் எனக்கு இருந்தாலும் இல்ல thank you for this. No, the whole idea of doing this exercise is not to test anybody's ability. We're just doing this as a fun to see how do we do it ourselves. And thanks for this wonderful opportunity, Subbu, and thank you for that. Thank you for all of you for listening.
Thank you, Sampath. Thank you so much for your excellent presentation. And I can promise you that all of us are listening to you very, very carefully and patiently. And we will try to put this habit of listening into a day-on-day practice. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's an open session now. You can even ask questions to Sampath, he'll answer.
Can we prove to Sampath that we have been attentive?
Yeah, we answered 92 crores. So we are
Well, I will give you an exercise now. Can we prove to Sampath you are attentive?
Yes, please do. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. Everyone has to come online, on camera.
Yeah, we are all.
Yeah, there are some people not on camera.
Okay.
Mani, I want to see you. You have to see me. Right? Hello, Mani Anna. Okay. Listen to me carefully and do what I ask you to do. Right? Show me your hands. Clap. And put up your index fingers. Is the index finger up? So you have been listening very carefully. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Super. No, sir. See, நீங்க இப்ப சொன்னது பாருங்க sir, Mr. Mohan Krishnan, absolutely fact of life. In the parroting has been a trait which needs to be removed. You are absolutely right. The parroting has to go.
Okay. Solunga, please, mic unmute to Solunga, Vasara.
It's a wonderful talker, Sampath Dorairajan. I came in a little late.
Yes, sir.
But it's a fantastic thing. What he mentioned is very right. If we don't improve our listening, we are in for a lot of chaos in the family life and in the social life. I think Sampath has said it. Dono haathon se salam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Coming from you, I take it as a pleasure because I listened to you last week. So thank you for that. I was telling Subodh, that it was such a wonderful presentation that you made, which made me think. I'm not saying because you're seated here. Even otherwise, I told Subodh. So I'm thankful to you. Thanks, sir. Listen, now I find it happening in families. I find it happening among friends' families. This is one thing that has to go. College la padikira pasangalo, school la padikira pasangalo, kalyanam la pasangalo, they need to learn. They need to unlearn a lot of things and learn a lot of things. There is no teacher, there is no school, there is no college to teach. There is no management institute which teaches this. They take it for granted.
Okay, Karthikeyan, Solunga.
Sampath sir, I mean, it's a very pleasant surprise for me that I'm a Deivathin Kuralla. I mean, we have been meeting every week. Yeah, but today, I mean, you came in as a very pleasant surprise. You discussed so beautifully about the most important topic, and I see Mohan also here, Ramakrishnan also here. So very nice to see you all. Of course, Mohan, I'm yet to listen to your wonderful talk, which I missed out. About Subbuddha has sent it to me. I'll certainly listen and come back to you. And Sampath sir, you have been very brilliant today. I mean, discussing about the most important subject that is very valid. And I believe the listening to a large extent has reduced, I mean, in the current generation, mainly because of the small instrument which we have in our hand called the mobile. I mean, it has done the greatest of damages, I believe, to the humanity. And particularly the WhatsApp. Of course, WhatsApp has its advantage, I don't deny it. But the thing is, unfortunately, I mean, the purpose for which the WhatsApp was done, the purpose with which the Facebook was done, it has been it's been totally been misused by majority of the people. Okay, that is, I think, is a basic thing that has happened. As a matter of fact, I mean, I'll just take about 30 seconds. I received day before yesterday a wonderful WhatsApp message. I mean, a school teacher is asking a kid, I mean, a girl kid, to write about an essay about mom, M-O-M, amma, okay. So there are other students, they write their normal stuff about mother, but this girl writes, please give me a mom who doesn't carry a smartphone. Okay. And she writes, I mean, please give me a mother who doesn't log on to WhatsApp, log on to TV, log on to reality shows. I mean, all that, you know, I mean, she lines up and she has time for me and time for my father. Okay. I mean, I'm not exactly telling the same words as it was in the WhatsApp, but I thought it made very brilliant sense. So, I mean, that is what is actually happening. Husband, wife sitting in the sofa next to each other, each with a mobile in their hand. They are not communicating with each other. I mean, he is sending WhatsApp messages, mainly stupid forwards to his friends, and the wife is also sending stupid forwards to her friends. Okay. So this is what is, I believe, is happening. And I really congratulate you for the wonderful sparrow story which you told, which I really loved. And the most important thing which you told about the body language while listening, that is also, I believe, it's a wonderful point which you took up on. And thank you very much, Subudha, once again for organizing these kind of meets, and it's brilliant. And thank you very much. Sampath sir, we must have more of you. And possibly, I think, in our satsangam also, once in a while, you can chip in and then enlighten us on all this. Thank you so much. Bye.
We have had Sampath many times earlier. This is the fourth appearance of his in our show, and he has dealt with always with important subjects like this. We'll have more of him, sure.
Yeah.
Topic, wonderful speech. இவரோட ஸ்பீச் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். கொஞ்சம் பேர் லிசன் பண்றோம், கொஞ்சம் பேர் கேட்கறனாலும் இது மாதிரி டாபிக் எல்லாம் நீங்க கொடுத்துட்டே இருக்கணும். அப்போ ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா நிறைய பேருக்கு அதை கேட்கணும்னு தோணும். நல்லா இருந்தது ரொம்ப.
ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ்.
உங்க ஸ்பீச் பிடிக்கும். லாஸ்ட் ஸ்பீச்சும் நான் கேட்டேன். இதுவும் ரொம்ப, அதாவது எல்லாருமே அவ டைம்னு ஒண்ணு வச்சுக்கணும், பிராக்டிஸ் நடைமுறைப்படுத்தணும். ஆனா நம்மள மாதிரி இருக்கிறவா எப்போ ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்கும். நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி யங்ஸ்டர்ஸோ இல்ல நம்மளும் அந்த எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன் வச்ச கூடாது. அவ அப்படிதான் நம்ம சொல்றத நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி சொல்றோம். அவளா அவளுக்கு நல்லது வேணும்னு வந்தா வரட்டும், இல்லைன்னா வரட்டும். நீங்க நல்லா இது மாதிரி பேசுங்க சார். உங்களோட நல்லா இருந்தது. திருப்பி அடுத்த டாபிக் வெயிட் பண்றோம்.
ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ்.
ராமகிருஷ்ணன் தாதா,
அவர் பேசினதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஒண்ணு பேசணும்னு தோணுதா? நம்பர் 1. நம்பர் 2 இஸ் த பிரசன்ட் டே கரிக்குலம். எனக்கு ஒண்ணுதான் டவுட். இந்த யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ்க்கு இந்த ரீடிங் வந்து ரீடிங் ஐம் டெல்லிங் அமங் த ஸ்டூடெண்ட் who is actually what the சொல்ல போனா ஸ்டார்ஸ் ஆஃப் த ஃபியூச்சர், இது அவளுக்கு வந்து ரீடிங் ஹேபிட்டே கிடையில்ல. ரீடிங் ஹேபிட் இன் தி சென்ஸ் இந்த ஸ்கூல்ல வந்து முன்னாடிலாம் பாடத்தை படிக்க சொல்லுவா. தட் யூஸ் டு பி தேர் இன் த கிளாஸஸ் ஆல்சோ. அந்த போர்ஷன் இன்ஃபேக்ட் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சவரை இப்போ இல்ல ப்ராக்டிகலி. அதை படிக்க என்ன ஆகும்னா the mind also works to take it and reproduce it or listening. And the portion is somehow or other is one thing is left out. And number 2 is very unfortunately in the corporate world, with the little thing which I had, especially the private corporate world, the bosses are the kings. And with all the thing that the subordinates would like to say, especially in the meetings and all, then the listener is actually nobody. In fact, the boss is the correct one, and you have to be submissive to that. So that is these are all the realities I mean to say.
Okay.
Well said, sir. இப்போ நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னாக்க இப்போ டிபிக்கலா பாத்தீங்கன்னா I'm talking about இப்போ இருக்கிறவா எல்லாருமே ப்ராபப்லி மோர் ஆர் லெஸ் ஒரே ஏஜ்ல இருக்கும் வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். இண்டிகேட்டிவ் பிளஸ் மைனஸ் ஒரு 5 years 10 years அங்க இங்க. Whatever I was not able to do in an office, I'll come and do it at home. If the boss shouts at me in the office, I need an outlet at home. Who are the outlet? My children, my wife, or if there's a wife, the husband at home, because there is no other outlet for me. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி பாஸ் பேசுறதை நான் கேட்டாச்சு, நான் பேசுறது ஏதாவது கேட்கணும்ல. I come and talk, whether you listen to it or not. ஒரு வேர்பல் டயரியா மாதிரி பேசிடணும். And that becomes a cycle. அந்த vicious cycle இருந்து வெளில வரது கஷ்டமாயிடும். Then becomes a habit. And getting out of that habit becomes difficult. See, இப்போ நம்ம ரெகுலரா நம்மளே listening technique கத்துக்கணும் பண்ணணும்னாக்க all it needs is when somebody speaks to start with 10 minutes, 5 minutes ஒருத்தர் பேசுறதை கேட்டா போதும். Start listening. Then that becomes a habit.
On a lighter note, Sampath sir.
Sir.
On a lighter note, பாஸ் வந்துட்டு அவனோட பேச முடியல, அவன் சொல்றதே கேட்டு இருக்கும், வீட்டுல வந்து அவன் மேல இருக்கிற கோவத்தெல்லாம் பொண்டாட்டிட்டையும் குழந்தைகிட்டையும் காமிக்கிற இதுவும் இருக்கு.
The time is over, Karthik. Now it's time for you to listen to your wife now, whatever she says. Lighter note.
Mohan, I hope your wife is not behind
you. Not there. She is making sweets for Diwali. See, just like Mr. Ramakrishnan mentioned a little while ago, reading habit அப்படினு சொல்றோம்ல, the pattern of study itself is undergoing a change. இப்போ முன்னாடி எனக்கு படிச்சா தான் எக்ஸாமினேஷன், இப்போ காலையில 5 நிமிஷம் கூகுள் ரெஃபர் பண்ணிட்டா போறோம் எனக்கு. So unless we change ourselves to changing technology, nobody will listen to us. See, including, with due respect, the Stephen Covey, he is a preacher. I want to ask him during his preaching days, how many of his clergy, followers from the congregation did he allow him to question? By immaculate question, by conception question, see, they come from a place where they say something and practice something else. Whereas my Bhagavad Gita allows you to ask you a question. Chapter 3, la Krishna kahakaran, tad ekam vada nischityan, Arjun solran. That's our culture. Arjun asks Krishna, can you ask? The dadi vachinu tamarvane. Desert date something around. I want to kakuma. Epdi akudare eri ponar abrinta. So they lecture from a culture and practice something else. That's why it doesn't sink into us.
My intention of putting coffee was only for the walking stick.
No problem about that. What happens about the beauty of that culture is they find beautiful points of selling. Like Karthikeyan said, the real purpose of Facebook and WhatsApp, the real purpose of is to distract you and to program you to buy whatever rubbish I sell you. They are not here to enlighten you and give you moksha. Facebook level. Their purpose is to only give advertisement.
Yeah, they are spying on you actually.
Actually, they are only collecting that. நம்ம என்ன நினைச்சோம்னா, அந்த வெள்ளத்தோலை போட்டு சூட்டு போட்டு வந்துட்டான்னா அவன் சொல்றதெல்லாம் வேத வாக்கு. அதுக்கு பிரைமரி ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி இந்த பிராமின் கம்யூனிட்டி தான். நான் வெள்ளக்காரன்ட்ட வேலை பார்த்தேன்டி அப்படின்னு பாருங்க பெரியப்பா, இன்னகத்தின் வேலை பாருன்ற வேலை. சந்தியாவந்தனம் பண்ணதை முதல்ல விட்டுட்டேன், சிரார்த்தம் பண்ணதை விட்டு அப்புறம் லெக்சர் கொடுப்பார். சிரார்த்தம் பண்ணா போய் சரிமா மேல. பிராமின் கம்யூனிட்டி தான் சார் பிரைமரி ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி. Sorry for my strong views.
Okay, Mani sir.
A lot of relevant points. But now,
sorry, it is not outside the subject, but I got a very carry.
No, it is, sir. I'll tell you why it is. If I made reference to Perivar as well as Dayanand Saraswati, there's so much to learn. Not for nothing did a gentleman write 10,000 pages of Devathin Kural. சும்மா ஒண்ணு எழுதல. நம்ம வந்து கிருஷ்ணரை பார்க்கல, அர்ஜுனனை பார்க்கல, தயானந்த சரஸ்வதி பார்த்தோம், அவர் சொல்லிட்டு போயிட்டார். இவர் வந்து நாட் ஃபார் நத்திங் ஒரு 10,000 பேஜ் எழுதுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஒரு மனுஷன் இங்க இருக்கிற யாரையாவது let it be யூஎஸ்ல இருக்கட்டும், இந்தியாவில இருக்கட்டும், அமெரிக்கால இருக்கட்டும், எங்க வேணா இருக்கட்டும், 10,000 பேஜ் எழுதியா இன்னைக்கு ரெலவன்ஸ் எழுதணும்.
தெய்வத்தின் குரலே வந்து நம்ம ஸ்கூல் சிலபஸ் நடந்த லைஃப் மாறி போடும். அவ்வளவுதான்.
எவ்வளவு பெரிய வால்யூம் அது, எவ்வளவு பெரிய சொசைட்டி பண்ண வேண்டிய.
What a mahan அது எழுதிய ஒவ்வொரு லைன் so meaning. He is a living God even today.
நான் தான் சொன்னேன், அது படிக்கும் போது யூ திங்க் தட் யூ ஹவ் அரைவ்ட் இன் லைஃப். போரும் பெருமாள் கூட்டா போறோம் என்னன்னு படிச்சு வச்ச உடனே மனுஷன் ஆயிடும். ஒண்ணு வேணாம், ராபின் சர்மான புக் எழுதலாம். ஹி டீச்சர்ஸ் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட், 7 புக் எழுதியிருக்கான், 2 டைவர்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கான். ஏன் அங்க கம்யூனிகேஷன் இல்லையா உனக்கு? ஊருக்கு கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ற நீயே பண்ண முடியல? Monk who sold a Ferrari,
Okay, Mani sir,
Okay.
I want to listen only, sir.
I think I will have to take leave, gentlemen and ladies, and happy Diwali
Thank
to
you, sir.
everybody.
Happy
Okay.
Diwali, sir. Thank you.
Because I have certain social
Thank you,
commitment.
Karthikeyan, sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Karthikeyan, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mani sir.
Krishnan
Yeah,
sir.
I want to listen.
மணி அண்ணாதா சொல்லுங்க.
I want to listen more.
மணி அண்ணாவோட விஸ்டம், மணி அண்ணாவோட விஸ்டம் எல்லாம் கேட்க வர மாட்டேங்குது. மணி அண்ணா கிச்சு போலும்.
अभी बोलते हमें सुनते चाहे, बोलते नहीं चाहे.
बोलते नहीं चाहे, सुनते चाहे.
My Bengali is okay.
Super, super.
We can understand.
That's more important.
Krishnan sir, the final segment for the summary.
Before you wind up, if the conversation between human beings becomes simple and short, listening will become automatic.
Okay.
Life simple.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Subbu. Thank you, everybody. Once more.
We move to the final segment for the summary and vote of thanks. Mr. Subramanian, our Secretary Tapovan, joining us from Chennai, would do the honors. Subramanian sir, please go ahead.
எல்லாருக்கும் நமஸ்காரம். Thanks to Mrs. Nirmala Gurunathan for the prayer Vatapi Ganapatim Bajegam. Mrs. Uma Anantaramakrishnan once more introduced Mr. Sampath to the audience. This is not the first time we are listening to him. And we know him as a family business consultant. He has been a mentor. He has graduated in political science. He had the tenacity to do his PhD and get it when he was 62 years old. Remarkable achievement. He has been in this profession over 3 decades, and he had been in UAE advertisement, entrepreneurs, and he has been helping the visually impaired. That is a new information we got today. And if at all we can be of any help, feel free. Talking about your talk, and we know that you are the childhood friend of Subbu, and you gave us a small test of Ashok and Rakesh going to Mamallapuram with the families. Many times, even there are a lot of small videos in YouTube you see. They ask you to do something, and finally the question is something else. You have not noticed at all because your focus has been elsewhere, and when they tell it has been there, you get to see that. This is what is the thing. We were more concentrating on the Mahabalipuram Sunrise Hotel and the percentage they were dividing. You talked about the active listening, listening to others, understanding them, and empathizing with them. We listen to our own selves practically at all times. Even when you go to a meeting, you don't listen to what others say. You are practicing what you need to say in the meeting rather than what others are telling. Probably your point has already been covered by someone else. You appear a fool. Part of life. And you show the video of Hema Malini, who was coming as a chatterbox, and Amitabh and Dharmender, who are the passengers of the Tanga, really get fed up because they get no opportunity to talk as to where they should be going. And people keep talking continuously. That is one of the biggest problems. They think that they got the right to talk, and they keep talking about their adventures, their achievements, their experiences, and hardly give us a chance to talk. And progressively, what people do is cut off the relations with them and say, hey, there is no point in going and talking to him. because he keeps bragging about himself or herself for that matter. No communication ever takes place in these because it is a monologue by them, and you need to have the guts to stop them, which many of us don't possess. In communication, there is active and passive listening, you just said. When you do passive listening, we do not give respect to the speaker, you said. Very true. As we walk, we listen to the things. As we run for a specific purpose to catch a bus, nothing ever comes to our ears because we are focused on some activity. Human beings want to understand and want to be understood. Though that is being the basic wish, they keep talking all the time. And you said 70% of the waking hours is spent in communication. Listening and talking takes a major portion of the time. We talk thinking we may not get a chance. It happens very often. Even when I take part in some of the symposiums, some of the people come, I am at the end, why don't you take that position? Because they feel that no one will listen to them when they come at the end of the thing. This is what happened. And two people talk without listening. This we see very common. And some communities, it is a practice, and they have been brought up that way. And they say, two guys of this community are there, neither listens to the other. Both of them keep talking is a reputation they have developed. You said about the business partners and business families. They are, what is missing is humility, and the ego runs the root. The loser is themselves. Not listening and focusing on the mobile or doing something, it's not correct. People feel insulted. It happens very often when you take an appointment with a government officer, you think you are going to be exclusively listened to. When you enter his room, there are already 6-7 people sitting there. And the government officer says, you talk. You know, I don't know how much he will be able to process unless he is a Ashtavadani or a Dashavadani, which most of us are not. And many times we feel the doctors don't listen to us. Probably by listening to one or two signals from our body, they are able to comprehend what is wrong with you. But as a patient, we don't feel comfortable that we are being listened to. Hey, we are being listened to. He is writing some medicine, and what is required in taking medicine is a confidence and faith which is missing. That's the reason a guy who hasn't even studied 8th standard comments on the FRCS, MD, MS guy as he's a useless doctor because he has no moral right or the ability, but he judges with this experience and he has every right to do that. And older people, senior citizens, they want to share their experience with the younger people lest they make mistakes. It is a very futile exercise because the younger population wants to learn their own hard way and with their experiences. And these people get upset, he doesn't listen to me. The problem is not there, it is with you. Having a different from, hearing is different from listening, that is true. And that is why many languages have different degrees of listening and hearing when they describe whether you listen or you hear. Look at the eye, the speaker, when you listen, you said, that gives a confidence. Also your non-verbal and verbal responses. For example, when you are telling the story to the child, when the child says, that means the child is listening to the story. The child doesn't listen, it is silent. You are not sure whether the story or the messages you give reaches or not. That is something which is human. And we find that labor, when you instruct, out of respect, anything you say, they nod their head. If you ask them what I said to kuch bolte hain, hum to sunna padta hai. What did you understand? Nothing. When it comes to it, he will come and instruct me at a micro level. That is the attitude I have witnessed in many of the construction sites I have visited all over the country. People don't ask questions. For example, when Singaporean boss, he went on holiday, he had 2 assistants. One was a Korean, one was an Indian. He gave the things in writing, what should be done when he is not there. The Korean came with 20 questions, whereas the Indian said everything understood. That fellow said, when I come back, the Korean would have done whatever I wanted. The Indian would not have done because he didn't ask any questions and he runs to the problem. He has no one to look at. And we people feel, Mutor salvate amrudam. It is true. There cannot be a better substitute for experience. Listen to them. And that is the thing the younger generation has to develop. Maybe there are facts. Maybe they share experiences and prevent you from going down the beaten path and burn yourself in the process. What skills is listening skills are not mastered in the world. We are caught in our own web. That's what you said very repeatedly. We don't practice what is preached by great people also. We appreciate them for their ability to deliver and the skills they have in knowledge. People are suggesting we should keep some of the best books in school as part of the syllabus so that people would benefit. Your body language is pretty important. We need to have normal and verbal communication like smiling so that, you show empathy to others. And we have been given 2 ears and 1 mouth so that at least we hear twice as much as we talk. This is a old dead age. And many times when we don't want to listen, we switch off our mind. It is just something like the sermon given by the parents to the young children. In your age, the boy has already shut off his motor control center. He says, in your age, Abraham Lincoln was the president of the United States. That is a very old joke all of us have heard. There is no point. We can try. Receptivity is important. You must be able, you should not throw, good thoughts in the mind, which is not really listening because it doesn't reach any place. And you should also, as a communicator, find out the right situation so that he is in a listening mood. And we pass on energy while we talk. We heard a lecture on energy a couple of weeks before. He talked about a lot of electrical and magnetic energy. Speaking contains a lot of vibration and energy, no doubt about it. And we need to, at all ages, increase our attention span so that we listen. We cannot go for preconceived notions and we should listen. All these messages were brought by you. One of the things people do enjoy to tell you, I told you so when you go wrong, because that gives them a lot of pleasure. I warned you before. Doesn't help. You ensure people listen when you think it is worth listening. You said the society will survive. We need to be active listeners. I do fully agree with you. Listening is a very poor practice that has been taught to the children, and we grow without this particular habit. And the final story you said, the salesman and production person, and how they split, and how much we have been listening, we got to know how much active we have become to listen to things. We really appreciate your time. We look forward to listening to you more. Wish every listener a very happy Diwali. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Thank you, all of you. Happy Diwali. Nalvartikals.
Thank you, Subramanian sir, for a wonderful summation and word of thanks. Thank you, Sampath, for a valuable time.
Thank you,
Uma
all
madam,
of you.
for your excellent introduction. Thank you, Nirmala Madam, for your prayer. The recording of this will be uploaded to YouTube sometime tomorrow. No, maybe we'll have it tomorrow, depending upon the time availability. Kindly share the link as widely as possible. And that's a wrap up from all of us over here. Until we meet next, and wishing you all goodbye, good night, and Shubh Ratri. Happy Diwali to all.
Happy Diwali.